We are
We're
back.
back.
Reading citations. Look who we found. we found the strange guy hanging out.
I wandered back.
It's like I've wandered, but I choose to return.
We missed you, man.
Thanks. I missed you guys too.
Welcome, everybody, to the Automotive Podcast. We don't have to build automotive models, but it sure does help. This is episode 28. In this episode, yes, we're going to track down Mr. Svensson, drag him kicking and screaming back into the podcast, and we're going to figure out what the heck he's been doing for the last 2 months, which, from what I understand from talking to him, is not a lot of modeling, but hey, he's had a lot of things going on. So we'll deal with that, and then we'll talk a little bit about the fact that IPMS Nationals are coming up in, well, I guess technically they're coming up in 9 days. I leave in 6 days, and then a few other little odds and ends to discuss. So, gentlemen, Sean, since we haven't seen you in like 90 days, what have you been up to?
I've been up to all kinds of stuff. I took a little break. So the past 3 years during the summer, I do summer theater. So I take a couple months off, and then assuming I get cast, I participate in community theater and we put on a production. So this year we did Cats. So I ended up, I was a cat, meow, for a couple months, pranced around on stage, did a little singing and dancing. So I did that. And what else is new? I have a new job, so that's good. I never really talked about it, but I had been laid off back in January. And so for a period of few months there, I was scrambling around trying to become gainfully employed again. But thankfully, I have secured employment, so I have money to spend on models again. So that's good.
We wanted you to go full time at Round 2 or Mobius.
Yeah, that would have been fun. Yeah, I actually did. So big shout out to both those companies. I had reached out to both of them and said, hey, I'm available. I can do, I can push through work more quickly than in the past. And so both those companies actually stepped up and gave me quite a few projects and kept me busy through my drought. So that was a big help. I appreciate that. So I actually did quite a few box art projects. I don't remember how many I did total. I didn't count them all. I probably did a dozen.
Sweet.
So
we've seen most of them already, but
well, there's quite a few you haven't seen yet. So there's probably I bet there's half a dozen you haven't seen yet.
Okay.
Haven't been announced, and I don't like to steal the thunder away from guys. So there's some neat stuff coming out. A bunch of reissues, but also I've been surprised. Round 2 has committed tooling dollars to upgrading old tools with new parts. So you're going to see there's a couple new kits that are coming out where they've made some corrections to things or added some new things to them to create sort of versions that didn't exist. So there's some interesting, cool things.
I know that 60 Chevy's coming pretty soon, as well as the Barracuda 65.
Yeah, I didn't do the box art for the wagon, the 60 wagon, but I know it's coming. I did do the box art for the 65 Barracuda, so it's
sweet.
So it's I haven't posted that yet. I don't think they've posted a production date on that yet. I know they've been a little bit behind because they were, with tariffs and stuff, they were trying to sort of figure out their production schedule. But it looks like they're maybe getting back on track. I think things are starting to stabilize. But then there's some other new stuff coming out. So yeah.
And plus the Hellcat by Christmas, I was told.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard when they were gonna. I know the tooling's all done, so I think it's just a matter of, getting it into the schedule and.
I had heard by Christmas.
Yeah, that's a neat kit. I would like to build another. I enjoyed building the one that I have plans to build more. That's one of my all-time favorite cars. So I think those are super cool.
James, you in for one?
Or a Hellcat?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, on my end here, of course, I haven't done anything, but I've been going through the collection and paring it back down again because it had gotten back up to the number that makes my brain itch. And so one of the things that I had sold, not this most recent round of Facebook auctions, but before that was my 2021 Charger RT. Because like I have the police version, I have what I want to do with it, but like I was like, if Hellcat versus the regular one,
RT.
I would want to build the Hellcat more than I want to build the RT. I don't, in a sea of plastic, am I going to build both of those Dodge Chargers? No. So ship that one out. I know the other one's coming, so
right.
I see no reason to hang on to it. I actually, I think I sent James the picture the other day. I can't remember. But actually,
an empty shelf.
One whole section of a shelf. I just took everything. Everything was on the shelf. I was like, it's gone. I've had it for some of that stuff is 10, 15 years old. It's not even been looked into. When I opened boxes, it was like, everything in here is still sealed. So for me.
See, I'm a firm believer that you don't own the kit until you open all the bags and look at the parts. You don't own it.
I know
all my collection is worthless because it's all been opened.
I was saying, I know we had a discussion because what I showed you, there was like a Mustang and the Challenger, the Revell, with a 2009 SRT
right.
Challenger, and you were like, "Oh, that's a gold mine. You should keep it." The only reason why I didn't sell that was I opened the box and went, "Oh, I painted the transmission in here." For some reason, that's the only thing. Must be the step one is assembling the two halves of the transmission together. I'm like, "Yep, got to keep that because it's already started." So. Same thing with the Mustang. The Mustang's engine block is painted and assembled. The heads are painted, and apparently that's where I petered out with it. And so, well, nobody wants to. Nobody. I mean, you could probably sell it for $1. Somebody will pay $1 or $2 for it, but like, I might as well just keep it for that. I've gotten rid of like all the rest of the Mustangs I had, so one's good enough.
Don't you have that Playmos upgrade kit for that
I realized after I sold the last section of Mustangs, I sold like 3 or 4 of them in one weekend. Like, I sold the one kit that goes to, but I'm assuming it would go to any Mustang, so I still have that one. That may be what I end up doing with it. But it's like that one just makes another Shelby GT,
right?
So, Playmos's website is actually online and active, and shows that it's selling things. So I now know what the current price of that is if I wanted to, actually get rid of it, because I was chit-chatting with one of the people that I sold something to, and they were like, I got this because it's a car that my dad had, blah blah blah, because if I could just find a 2015 Camaro, which is his wife's car, then I'd be all set. And I said, well, the closest you're going to get to a 2015 Camaro, because it's that weird year that nobody made, because AMT had those promotional, the showroom classic ones of the 2013s, Revell did the 2010, and then AMT's full detail kits were 16 and 17. I said, is to get the Playmos Z28 conversion, because that's a 14, and that's, I assume, close enough to a 15. I don't know, there was enough significant difference. And he was like, yeah, but how much would that run me? I'm like, well, I have one. And I went on, I actually looked up Playmos's, and their website's active, and it's like $125, I think is what they want for it now, which I think is more than we paid for it back then. I think we paid 80 something for it back then. So inflation and whatnot. They're in Japan now. I don't think they were in Hong Kong originally.
I think so.
Whoever bought the naming rights and apparently the production rights, they're in Japan now. Everything's in yen. Sit there and go, okay, wait a minute. How much is 18,700 yen translate to actually in real money?
$15.
So yeah, I kept my 2010 Camaro because I actually would consider, screwing around with that one. I have to get rid of that stupid Playmos. I have like the RF Miata conversion that made it a hard top, which to me, of course, came back later and said, hey, here's an RF to get a box. And need that little piece anymore. But now that the website's active, I know how much it's actually costs. And because it's like, what you put it on eBay, like, what does this cost? I don't know. It's a piece because like a lot of the Playmo stuff, for nobody who's ever seen this stuff, Playmos existed the later parts of the 2010s, sort of went away with COVID and then never came back. And now they're apparently are silently back. So yay for that. But like, what is that worth? What does it cost? I don't know. They haven't been in production for 6 years, but there's a kit of it. So what do I price that at? But now I know what the actual piece costs. So
yeah, they had some nice stuff. I had a Viper detail up set for the racing version, and they did a McLaren set. They did an AMG GT set.
Yeah. They did the roof for the RF. They did that Mustang we were just talking about, the Camaro I was talking about. They did a Mazda Sports conversion of the MX-5 to turn it into like the little North American race car version that they spec race. They did, and they said they did a 918 like photo etch set. They did
right.
The wheels, a bunch of wheels for the 918, a bunch of wheels for the BMW i8. We're just talking about that privately the other day. They did wheels for they did wheels for like the AMT Shelby Cobra, like the 65 or 66 Shelby Cobra, the set of 10 spokes that everybody complains about in the vintage kit. They made another set of wheels for those.
Really nice
McLaren stuff. He was a very like responsive person to talk about back when he was in business, the guy in Hong Kong, because like the McLaren set has the pieces to make like the 520C, which is like the dumbed down economy version of the 570S, which was the kit that Revell made. And yeah, that's my fault, because I was like, oh dude, man, you just like throw a couple of little bits and pieces at it and one like resin conversion for the trunk, and it's the same, you could do the down market one. And he was like, oh, that's a good idea. I didn't actually think he was gonna, take it seriously, but if you look at that etch set, you can build a 520C out of it. And I was like, okay.
You were a hobby insider.
I was before my hobby insider day, sure. So what's going on over at Scale Model Experiment and Resin Kit Sales? Decal and
so those Porsche Cup kits sold out. My first four. I sold the first 4 in 2 days, and so I ordered 7 more, and 6 of those are already spoken for. So those will be there in about 2 weeks. They're already on a postage. So, but other than that, just decals, and we got the Liberty Walk Lexus LC500 coming out pretty soon, and the Porsche 935, which is the 2019 car, when Ben just joined us. So got some good stuff coming from PZY, and if you guys are interested, just let me know.
Yep, and I have a picture of that Lexus
LC500.
Yeah,
I don't have it right now. Maybe James can pull it up while we're talking.
Yeah. This is a good piece of conversation to have while I'm searching the computer here. Stephen Kessel says, what do you think Tamiya will do since Mr. Tamiya passed away? Will the company be of the same quality? So for anyone who hasn't heard, which I'm not sure how you wouldn't have, it was literally all over the place. Mr. Tamiya, like literally the Mr. T of Tamiya, passed away this past week. I think it was Monday. It came in at a really odd time where like we had just done a podcast and we weren't going to do this one for a while. So it's like we just didn't pay attention to it. But yeah, he had passed away. He had put his son in the role of president, and then his son passed away of cancer. I was 2017, I think it was. And so he had reassumed the leadership of Tamiya at that point, and then had just recently, as in like last fall in 2024, transferred the presidency of Tamiya to his grandson. And so Tamiya is still controlled by or run by the family. I'm interested to see what they do, because if the one sort of knock, if you will, about Tamiya was always that every project had to be approved by the old man. Like if the old man didn't like it, it was never going to get done. He had the final veto of anything. And I know I was talking with several people recently about the fact that, like, if you look at Tamiya in like the 1990s when they were doing all the DTM cars and all the F1 cars, and all the JDM stuff and all the Euro stuff, because there's all those Mercedes they did, plus the Fiats and the Citroens and all that stuff. Like, there was a point in time in the mid 1990s where Tamiya was releasing 8 to 10 new tool kits a year, and on top of all the race car versions, it ended up being close to 20 model kits a year. Automotive, like, they're still doing all the rest of the stuff, but they're doing 20 some odd car kits. So if Mr. Tamiya is the throttle, if you will, on that, it's like, well, we only do 1 kit a year. Do they do more or not?
Right.
Like, so, like, I don't know if there's any real significant change to the company in terms of what they do with the modeling side, because obviously Tamiya is a huge company, tools, paint, the mini 4-wheel drive RC stuff, plus the regular RC stuff. They're not exactly a small company in terms of the scope of what they do. I don't know if there's any more investment in plastic or not.
It all depends on where the money is, probably. James, I think you went mute.
Well, yes, that's the part where you guys discuss.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, I guess it all depends on what grandson is into. If he's a car guy, we're set. We'll get lots of cars. But if he's a plane guy or RC guy or what, I don't know.
Yeah, I have no insight into Tamiya or Tamiya. How do you pronounce it? Is it Tamiya or Tamiya?
Tamiya.
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 A third version. Not even close.
I
Okay.
had to think about it for a minute.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things because, well, James would know, like, there's no emphasis on the syllables, so to speak, of Japanese last names. So it's very sort of, everybody goes Tamiya or Tamaya. It's just it's like Tamiya. It's the Aoshima and Hasegawa, because there's a Mr. Aoshima, there's a Mr. Hasegawa. These companies are named after people. Somebody was saying, I was like, well, there's no Mr. AMT. That was an abbreviation. That was a abbreviation for a company name.
Yeah, I'd be cool if they did more car kits. I mean, they make super nice stuff.
I mean, you could go off on a huge tangent about, like, oh, they should have done this out of this and this out of this and this out of this, and all comes down to what he wanted to do at the time. Like, why was there never more things done with for the stuff that James and I are into? Why is there no Evo conversion for the AMG GT3? It's literally a parts runner of like 6 pieces. We know how many pieces it is because we have all the resin trans kits for them. We know exactly how many pieces that would take to fix that kit. Right. It would cost, $25,000 ish to do that stuff. Like, why was that never done? You'd sell so many more kits. You're selling the kits anyway because we have to have something to put the resin on. Like, you'd solve a huge problem because, like, those resin trans kits are like $30 a piece, if not more, and you're already putting it onto a $40 model kit. Just $40 model kit, and I'm happy.
Right.
They'd released that custom Supra, right? It was the one, the current Supra that was like a custom kit, and it's kind of sort of, but not really quite the final edition of the GR Supra. Like, I don't understand why the final edition wasn't done. They did the launch edition. Give me the final edition. It's a nice bookend of that. But, like, why that of all things? Like, why was that done? And there was never anything done with the Senna, because we just saw, for anybody who pays real close attention to the aftermarket, Zoom-On is doing the conversion to make the Senna into the Senna GTR, which is the track spec version of the car. Okay, why wasn't that just done to the model kit? Like, that was kind of what I expected the second release of that to be. I mean, there never was a second release, and it makes me think the second release would be, see-through. Oh, it's got a clear body, because that's what they did with, like, the LFA and McLaren SLR.
Right. Well, then they got the Gordon Murray too.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you do with the GMA 50. I don't think it's that. Well, yeah, there's a race version of it, technically speaking. There is. Let's see.
Because typically that's what they do, is they do 2 versions of every kit.
Yep.
Whether it be a see-through one or a street rod version or street machine version, custom, but usually 2 versions of every kit.
Yeah, I would say it wouldn't been saying it's still 2 new products every year, and that is true. It's but it's if you gave me my druthers of things that Tamiya could have made a model kit of Hondas, why didn't they make a Type R Civic rather than the Prelude?
Yeah, I think
the Type R, you would sell 10,000 to Type R Civics to like every guy who wants to make a tuner model, rather than this coming month. Speaking of resin, right? Alpha is doing their resin Type R Civic of the current model Civic. Like, why do I have to spend $180 to get a resin, version of something that, Fujimi's made all the other Type Rs, and they constantly reissue them, so there's still market to sell the 90s and the 2000s era Type Rs. The current one I would assume so. Like, I have nothing against a Prelude. I'll probably buy one because it's a Tamiya kit, and why wouldn't I buy a Tamiya kit? Because it'll, I'll throw glue and paint into it, sneeze, throw it in the closet, come back out built. But why that Honda of all the Hondas you could pick? I think a lot of us, I don't want to speak for the people on the stream here with me, but a lot of us, when we saw the Mercedes 300 SL come out, we were like, ooh, we're going to go back to classic European cars like the Fiat and the Citroen stuff. Like, there's so many things you could do there. Like, give me like a BMW 2002. That was before Hasegawa made theirs. Or what was that car that came before the 2002? Like the C9 or something like that. The prior would turn into the 3 Series. But no, it was that kit, which is very, very nice kit. Don't get me wrong. The Mercedes 300 SL is an absolutely awesome model kit, but like, that was it. It was just like this one thing. And that's, again, I think that's Mr. Tamiya's influence, right? I like that car. We're going to make that car. Okay, great. Now, they did the one Mustang GT4, which like updated to the current Mustang GT4. You still make the kits, so you still have the Ford licensing. You still have the in with oh crap, I can't think what the people in Canada that make that car are. The Canadian guys would remember. But like, why do we not do any other GT3 cars? Because the AMG GT3 sells still, at this point, still one of the strongest selling cars that Tamiya makes that's as far as US Tamiya sales go, from talking to those guys.
I think it's been on the reissue list every year since 2016. Yeah.
If you look at the kits in the United States, as far as Tamiya's personal, like their sales, the U.S. sales for cars, it's the Mustang GT4, the Ford GT3, or the Ford GT, and then the AMG GT3. Okay, I see what sells here. Make more of that. But no, we get a Prelude. And I appreciate the reissues of like the older stuff, like the Mercedes and the Prelude, and also with the CRX that are coming with the decals with the seats now. They're making possible what was impossible when those kits were new back in the 80s. But at the same time, I don't run the company. I'm not mine. Nobody named it, Duffamia, so it's not what I just, some of the things, it's like, there's always been a long rumor, the jet side guys, the guys who build airplanes, they want a twin seat F-16, because all the F-16s that Tamiya have ever made at any scale are all single seat. And everybody wants a 2-seat F-16, and the legend goes that Mr. Tamiya doesn't like twin-seat F-16s and has no interest in making one, and that was the reason why. Even though it would be, again, a parts runner to put the extra, the extra canopy and the extra seat back there, he had didn't like it, thought it was ugly, and no interest in making it, and he wasn't going to do one. So screw you guys, I'm going home. So
market potential,
my ball.
Good, huh?
And I think, and I think the thing is, like, you get resin trans kits to make, a twin seat F-16 in every scale that Tamiya makes, because it's a fantastic F-16 model. So you see there's interest in it.
I would agree. Like, the Civic Type R seems to be, like, sadly overlooked. That seems like it would be an obvious high volume seller.
And so I'll look through the comments here, because there was some discussion saying the hobby is going resin and going that way fast. I guess. I mean, there's always going to be a market for injection molded model kits, because not everybody's going to want resin.
Right.
First of all, not everybody can afford the kind of high. I was calling big boy toy resin the other day. Nobody can afford it, first of all, and I'm very aware that either through friendships or partnerships, or just the ability to have the income, we're fortunate to be able to have the things that we have. So no, I'm not disavowing that whatsoever. But just in general, like resin's not plastic. It's not going to glue together with model cement. It's a thing into its own. Do you want to play with all the PE? Do you make PE windshield wipers and all the rest of that goofy nonsense? Do you want to fight like Mr. Tester does on a monthly basis with Windows, trying to get the Windows installed? And 3D printing, well, yes, 3D printing will certainly impact the hobby going forward. No decals, no chroming, no windows. Yeah, you can big vacuum form and all that, but now you got to buy a vacuum former yourself or pay for somebody to print the kit for you that has a vacuum.
Right.
Look at Dialex, right? A big chunk of his business is printing out Andre's files because he can, he can do the windows for him and sell them as a kit rather than printing it yourself and having to buy a vacuum former.
Yeah, but even a crappy kit has better decals, in glass than a 3D printed kit. So we have to improvise a little bit with the 3D print stuff.
Yeah.
Let's say, first of all, tell me more. There's a resin kit of an 84 S10 Blazer. It's getting close to the S10 that I own there, but saying in 3 different versions, the pre-orders have been insane, which is great. Hey, awesome. But you're not going to sell as many of those pre-orders notwithstanding that you would have if you made 8,000 model kits, because a lot of people sit there, well, the kit didn't sell well, but that's on the retailer end, right? The retailers are the one that are stuck with those model kits. Round 2 and Mobius and all those, they sold them all 8,000 of those model kits went out the door, down the street distribution, and what happens with them. And that comes around on the backside of like, well, you made a crappy model kit that we couldn't sell. We don't want to do as many orders on the next thing that you make, kind of thing. But you're never gonna revenue resin the way that plastic does. Plastic costs more up front, but you're going to make more off the back end, and just a volume thing. You'd have to have a literal 10,000 square foot building with nothing but resin printers printing all day long to produce in quantity.
Print farm, right?
Yeah, exactly. What's a body take? I mean, I just watched Frank finally back on YouTube. All the meanie poopy heads that chased him off YouTube. He just printed something the other day. It was 27 hours to print a body. That's not a viable commercial plan. Great for us as an individual, right? You get a model kit of something you'll just never gonna get a model kit of an 84 S10, but it's not you'd have to have 200,000 printers going to print everything to get it out in one batch.
Yeah, they'd have to increase the speed, by 100 times in order to make it viable.
Right. And then, and James could speak to it, of course, that the faster you try to make the resin printer go, the more it pulls apart on the suction, and you get the Z-shift thing going on.
Get more
trouble. Yeah. You either you spend the time with the body work or you spend the time on the printer. Pick your poison. I can print a body in 5 hours if I wanted to, but you have to work on that one.
I say, guy saying yes, they have a print farm and it's cheap to print in Canada. They can do a body in 3.5 hours. All right. Well, again, I'm speaking from a point of like, this is my opinion, not an actual factual basis there. Let's see. Sean had asked an hour and a half ago for this. Let's see if I can get this to go, because every single thing about this software, just turn my camera off, is different than it was. They've made a whole bunch of improvements to it, but they don't do me a damn bit of good for this stuff. So here's your Lexus.
Neat. Is that the one with the Rocket Bunny? Or the
yes.
Not the Rocket Bunny, or the
Liberty Walk. Yeah,
Liberty Walk.
The body kit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool looking.
So there's 2 different spoilers, and then there's a right-hand drive one and a left-hand drive one, which I believe have different wheels as well. Although I think that's the original one, isn't it? That's the original.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is.
Why am I not?
Well, when Ben and I were having
you
a
could have bought. Why did I? I
told him the hardest part would. Go ahead.
So I went on Wenben's profile and I grabbed the first pictures of Lexuses I found. That's my fault.
So when Ben and I were talking about colors, and I said the hardest part is picking the color, and he says, "Well, it was only available in 3 colors. What are you talking about?" black, white, or red. And I said, oh, no. How about screaming yellow or green? He goes, oh, those weren't made in that color. I said, oh, they will be in mine.
Yeah, pearly yellow would look cool.
I think so.
Let's see.
I can even see that car maybe like a sort of a platinum, sort of a goldish silver color. I think would kind of look neat.
Classy. Yeah.
All right, let's try that again. Let's try that again with the right thing, shall we? Share the screen, this and that, and the other thing. There we go.
There we go.
That's fatter.
Yeah.
PHAT fat.
That's pretty sick looking. I like it.
But there is a right-hand drive version and a left-hand drive version, and there are differences in the spoiler between the two.
Yeah, there's a ducktail spoiler.
GT.
You can tell that the stance is a lot wider and lower too.
I like it. That feels like something from a Fast and Furious movie.
Something, yeah.
And then I believe Mr. Tester just made a comment about this the other day that he's managed to sell a bunch of his pre-orders for it. But there it is. This Porsche 930. What are they calling it? Let's see.
935, I think.
It's a 935-19 because it's a modern day adaptation of the Porsche 935 car from the 1970s.
Nice.
It was built on the 2019 Porsche 911 GT2 platform, which Mr. Tester had said, I don't know if I'm going to get this kit in specific. I was like, well, you just built one anyway, even if you didn't need it. You just built that Ring Taxi GT2. Well, this is the same thing with a different body kit on it. But this one, for anybody who's interested in it, and I'm not necessarily shilling to get Mr. Tester income here, it is just the actual fact that this was a collaboration that PZY did with Scale Labs, which is a company in Europe. I'm not sure what country exactly, but they did their own version, and then a limited number of them are being sold by PZY. If you want to, you can buy the Scale Labs version. It's been released. It comes with 3 different sets of decals, but do sort of a Golf livery, a Martini livery, and a I'm trying to think what that stupid third livery is called. It's I'm always pronounce it wrong, and I don't want to do it right now. But anyway, there's a third livery for it, and it's in my head, and I can't think of it. At any rate, it's $232 before shipping because of the Euro US exchange rate, so it's pretty pricey. But they're saying, I believe PZY said they're doing like 35 copies of this or something along those lines. It's a very, very, very small amount due to the fact that it's already being done by another company. And that was sort of the deal was we make it for you and then we sell some of our own. And so if you want one and you're in the United States, get a hold of the guy who in this format is directly above me right now. Because if you don't, you probably are not going to get one. I'm not you guys know I'm not a FOMO guy in the first place,
right.
But that's one that you legitimately might not get if you don't buy it now.
Yeah, like I said before, I think they're going to sell out before the first one is shipped.
Probably more than likely, they probably will. Kevin Smith is bringing up the fact that Johan has a new 66 Fury that's a resin kit. It's interesting, but it has no chrome for $140. I've seen, I believe it was the video that the guys there in Dayton did. I think it was the actual Atomic City. I'm not calling them Johan because just because you registered a trademark doesn't mean you're actually the company. You're not making Johan products. You're making your own stuff and selling it as Johan. The guys at Atomic City, yeah, it looks nice, I guess. I haven't seen it in person, so I can't judge its quality or anything else like that, but it looks like it's just a pop of almost a promo because the chassis is all one piece.
Right.
And I don't think there was Johan didn't even make a 66 Fury. I don't think it was a 66 Fury that they did. Didn't they do like a 65, a 62, and the 69 that the police car was? But at any rate, it looks decent. No knock on the resin. I believe this Jimmy Flintstone is doing their casting for him, but it has very minimal, if no decals. There's no etch. It's vac form windows, one-piece chassis, one-piece body, no chrome. For $140, this is the big boy resin toy thing. That's a lot of money for what is basically a model house quality, kit in terms of content and part count and all that sort of thing. Like, and I know inflation. Somebody said if Don was still making kits, they'd be $140, and maybe they would because they were close to $100 back in the '90s. But
they were, yeah.
I just know that what you would pay $150 for, which is PZY and Alpha and Red Wheel, which is the guy over there in Ukraine did the Tucker and the Cadillac. You get a lot more for the $150 elsewhere. So, like, costs are what costs are. If it costs them $140 to make a profit, it is what it is. But, like, man, that's a lot of money for what it basically amounts to a curbside resin kit. But then that's what all Alpha kits are, because everyone will constantly remind me, those are just curbside, I don't have an engine in them. Why would you pay that much money for them? Because no one else is making a Ferrari right now. That's why.
I guess if you like the subject matter, then it's worth what it costs, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I mean, somebody had pointed out that if you buy a current model kit and it's almost $40, by the time you throw paint and extras into it, it's going to be close to $100 anyway, and that's true. But you're not making that investment at like one individual time, right? You have paint, you have the supplies, you're buying the model kit, and eventually you might spend that other money to build it someday. Because let's face it, we all have stashes that are, stable, right? Stash beyond life expectancy. You're not actually spending that money up front like you would.
I had jumped over to the Model Makers Workshop Facebook page and took a look at that S10 Blazer they were talking about in the chat. It's pretty cool looking. It's a pretty neat kit. Looks like it comes as like a Pro Street drag racing, maybe like a Pro Touring version. Pretty cool.
I know you guys are going to say wah, 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 but I've been working on a plastic kit for the first time in a year.
Nice.
I've been building nothing but resin kits, for the past year. Nice. And here I am working on a plastic kit, and I'm bitching and moaning about scraping parting lines and filling ejection pin marks.
What are you building?
Toyota 86. It's here.
Oh, it's
the decal monster.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that you'd posted that online.
Yeah. Was
that an actual car, or is that just like a custom?
It is an actual car in Malaysia. The guy owns it in Malaysia.
Okay.
So when Ben worked with the designer of the wrap and came out with it.
Is that a drift car or a racing car?
I think it's a street car, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that looked like a really complex decal job.
I probably had 10 hours.
It's like wrapping a real car.
Yeah. Wenben probably could have done it in an afternoon, but he made the decals.
I seem to recall when I originally met Mr. James that he didn't like decaling, and now he just turned into like this decal guru type person.
I didn't. It was
it's been a very impressive transformation over the course of the years.
Yeah, it was the Miku kits that took me over. Now I love them.
I also just went and glanced at that Blazer. It's a little more than I personally would be interested in terms of like it's a drag type of thing. But I'll tell you what, you could sell me one of these. This is kind of cool. I like this detail upset for the Stranger Things Blazer.
That's all cool. You, Sean.
Roof rack. Here you go. Here's some free advertising for you, right? This that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I love these kind of trucks.
I said Pro Street drag truck. That's not my jam, but this right here, you could definitely sell me one of those. Nice. Let's see here. This is not, I don't think, one of Sean's box art section, but I'm pretty sure it's not. But it's one of the things that Round 2 is doing, and it's just one of those goofy things that they made a model of back in the 90s. How about a reissue of the Beretta, gentlemen? How about that?
Nice.
I had a 91 teal Beretta GT, just GT, and it had the teal BBS looking wheels, teal
Excellent.
interior. It was 5-speed with the 3.1 liter manual.
I thought those cars were really cool when they came out. I have to admit, GM did some neat styling in that era when they were sort of going for that aero look.
Yeah.
And they blocked off the grills and had the ground effects kit. And that car is particularly interesting because it has that compound curved rear window,
Yes.
which was really complex to make. And it's just kind of a neat kind of styling element.
It was about 80. It was like 88, 89. They went into this 4 or 5 year kick of the Euro sport styling.
Yeah.
Because the Celebrity, I had an 88 Celebrity with my grandfather's car. The Celebrity got a Eurosport version that got ground effects and got the grill blocked off. The Lumina, there was a version of that had the grill blocked off. The Beretta got its grill blocked off. No cooling needed on our cars because they're that cool.
The Z24 that they had the.
Oh yeah.
Cavalier Z24 was kind of neat. This is a cool kit. I wonder if I think I have an original one of these. I'm sure I have one of these in my stash from when that kit was new. I was always disappointed by the undersized wheels. And I'm wondering if they have, I don't know if they have or not, if they've updated, changed the wheels, or does it still have the small wheels in it?
Probably. The other thing about these kits that had an issue was like those mirrors were like little nubs. They weren't like mirrors. They were just like they were like the vestiges of the promo because they didn't actually make separate mirrors for it. Like at least two little nubs that are mounted on the side of the window frame. It's like, yeah, that's not what those mirrors look like. But hey, in this day and age, somebody can make 3D mirrors for it and upsize the wheels if there was actually enough interest in it to for somebody to design that stuff. Don't know that there is, but it's a fun one because like in the 80s and the 90s. With the promo contracts that AMT had, they made some of the goofiest like stuff that'll never get done again. The Beretta, the Ford Probe, the Blazer, the S10s, the Sonoma, the Taurus SHO, and all that stuff. But those are the kits I grew up building. So that was around the time that Revell had tri-fived me out of ever building another Revell kit, and so well into my AMT Erdl days at that point. Let's see.
I remember one of my earlier kits was like a 96 Camaro Z28 convertible.
Yeah, in fact, I think they've announced that one's coming back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're going to reissue that one.
I think that one ended up being scribing tool practice.
We got this image from Holder. I'm hoping I pronounce this right. It's Bobrovsky. And this is the test shot of the Bell Kit's upcoming Toyota rally car. So they're chugging along with that. I think there's a couple of little, as test shots go, there's a couple of little things you're tweaking here and there as the test shot gets built. But that should be out before the end of the year, at least, if not earlier. So that'll be a fun one for anybody who's into the modern rally car because, Hasegawa will give you as many 90s rally cars with different decals as you can possibly purchase. But a brand new one, like this won the championship in 2023, a brand new one would be nice. And so that's forthcoming. Whoops.
I do like those rally cars.
We have the actual built shots now of the upcoming Hasegawa R30 Skyline. For some people, this will hold all the excitement of a bottle of spoiled milk, but this will, once they do the later front end of the R30, that what they call the Iron Mask, which is the one with the hood peak comes down into the middle of where the grill is, and it looks more like what you'd expect a Skyline to look like as far as the styling goes. That one is the one that was raced in the early days of Japanese touring car And so that's been the kind of missing link of all of the stuff that's been done in the recent years. Excuse me. Fujimi Aoshima did kits of it back in the day. They're old motorized direct that aren't worth building for the most part. So having a good one will be good, will be nice. This already has the floor like the Supra and other kits did where it's stamped already.
Okay.
It'll be a race car.
Race car.
Yeah,
right.
It's very obvious that that's coming. And there's the back end of it, which, the early like hint of the round taillights that would come to be what you'd expect on a Skyline or Chevy Cruze, one of the two. Also, the other sort of newer toolkit the Hasegawa is doing. This is, of course, they did the new tool Honda. This is an EF3 Civic, which has different bumpers, the little power bulge in the hood, which is hysterical because it's a Civic. And then there had to be a different set of wheels that this could have come with, but I love the fact we're just doing straight up steel wheels on this. Straight up, this
they got to save the custom version later.
This cost $6,000 new steel wheel option there, but again, there's never been a civilian version of this era Civic done. The F3, F9, 80s, early 90s cars, for whatever reason, always overlooked. So Hasegawa is out there for you, and I'm sure there'll be 82 more versions of this, and eventually, there'll be resin spoilering and resin girling, all the things, and so on and so forth. But the R30 is going to be out right either in the next couple of days or the very beginning of August. The Civic will be out towards the end of August, but those are your sort of two new tool Hasegawa kits to look forward to. We had discussed prior coming on the air. We hadn't done one of those, hey, here's all the new kit things recently. We can make fun of all the Fujimi kits, but there really isn't a lot of, there isn't a lot of new coming because it's a lot of like, hey, look, it's a new set of decals, kind of thing. Those are the two new things.
So if history repeats, we only have to wait about 30 years to get a brand new, all new Civic Type R kit.
Yeah, probably. Oh, I forgot.
By the Alpha.
I forgot. Oh, that's not the screen I wanted. Gosh dang it. They moved all. If you guys could see what I could see based on what this looked like 6 months ago, they've changed all the buttons. Anyway, also you get the cool seat decals with the Civic because
neat.
I don't know if anybody else has the issue. I look at that, my eyes start going crossed. It's like there's too many lines.
I love it. I love it.
But
yeah,
I just the fabric patterns that Japan used. I mean, I think GM was not immune to that. They had some patterns in the Geo's technically are a JDM car that they put a Chevy badge on, but still, that's the hoot and a holler. On the U.S. side of things, right? Because we don't want to act like we're snooty foreigners here. This whole pile of kits, this is image courtesy of Model Roundup. This whole pile of kits is out now. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Gosh dang it, buttons are so
come on, Fiero.
Loaded. There we go. So this whole pile of nonsense here has been released already. This is in your hobby shops right now. That's not zoomed out far. There we go. So your Mobius BFX Comet with the new engine. I mean, it was tooled up back when these kits were done in 2016, but the new 289 with the option of the single or the double, would there be a dual quad induction. Jason Hanscom over at Blue Ox opened one of these in a video 5 days ago. So if you want to see the parts content on that and the new engine, that's available. The 66 Shelby GT350 is like the new body, the new fastback body on the old original kit, and this time it has Shelby stuff included in it.
Okay, so that's not the 67, that's a 66.
That's 66, yeah. They did that new Tool 66 body, 6-8 months ago, so this is a Shelby version of it. The El Camino Street Machine, is this your box art, Sean? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's one of mine.
So one of Sean's kits here, the 68 El Camino Street Machine. It's pretty cool in the sense it's got like a mini tubbed rear end. You can only build it as the Street Machine, but it's got some interesting parts in it, and they haven't been out in 25 plus years. So certainly an option if you were into the El Caminos. The El Camino in general was one of the pretty decent kits that Ertl did there at the end.
Mueller era.
Mueller, yeah. We're getting the flip side of all these because the 57 Corvette Street Machine is going to come back out, and the other ones have come back out previously. The Mobius Ford hauler coming back as a 1970, so different grill on the cab. And then you may recognize these three down here on the bottom right as being Galaxy Limited kits. And we had talked about this in the past. The folks over at Mobius had worked out a deal with Gary Schmidt's estate to acquire the tooling for the Galaxy Limited Chevys. So all three of these, the coupe, the sedan delivery, and the Aero sedan, are back out as well. You can build them. I think it's a 46, 47, 48, right? There's the grill options do all 3 years in there. Plus, you can either put or not put the wood cladding on the Aero sedan. So that's another option with that. And a lot of people never got the coupe because it was only out for a short period of time. The initial run sold, and then Gary passed away, and it never came back. So
those were nice kits when they first came out.
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
those were really nice kits.
Oh yeah, they're very nice kits. What were you say, Sean?
No, I just said they're nice kits. Chimed in, echoed.
I say the tooling for these three is still in South Korea, where they were tooled up originally for Galaxy. So nothing new has been done to these. So they're going to come back to you straight the way they were. I know I saw some people talking about fixing the grills because they're not quite right, stuff like that. None of that stuff's going to get done. They own the tooling, but the tooling is not where the rest of Mobius's tooling is. So.
Yeah,
and the box arts are repros of the original box art, more or less.
I don't have any insight. I wonder if they also got the tooling for the trailers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably did.
I would imagine so.
I wouldn't mind seeing. I never got any of them. I wouldn't mind getting one of those.
I have the 38-foot triaxle, which I think is the biggest one they made, and then I have one of the little haul behinds. But they sold them in like 5 different sizes, and as they sold out, they never reran the sizes that sold out. So kind of hit or miss. They're pretty simple kits in the sense they're just like little chassis, little axle, and then a lot of flat plastic. So they're not horribly complicated kits in terms of reproducing them. Let's see these ones. This post just in from my local hobby shop, my very own local hobby shop this morning. So these kits are also out now. One of them is something that's been out, the 76 Chevy Sport Wagon that came out 2-3 years ago. It's just a restock. But here are we're going to be August, but apparently our late July Revell reissues. So repop of the Monogram 64 GTO, venerable kit, right? The 85 Pontiac Fiero that we have been talking about, which I will go pick one up because it's molded in white. Yeah, it's not red like the original one. And then I saw very early in the comments, was one of the things I saw when it first came on, was somebody asking about the S10 itself. And here you go. Does have a little bit of a sticker shock to it. I guess throwing that die cast in there really cranked the price of the model kit up.
Wow.
What does that say? I can't read it.
$56 is a little bit much, but yeah. Given this is 23 and this is 28 and this is 21. But hey, it's a die cast, yo.
Yeah. Something to give the kid.
I guess. I'm not sure the die cast is worth $25, but let's say discussed amongst yourselves.
Yeah, the Fiera's really cool. I would pick up one of the Fieras. You need to build one of those. Do a modern take on it.
Ooh. LS it?
Hellcat.
Oh, there you go. Let's make everybody angry.
Say make everybody Elephant, right? So the 1,000 horsepower. I don't know that I'm going to get a GTO or not. I had a GTO that I bought. I don't even remember where. It was a guy that's a kid. It was some museum, and they happen to sell model kits. And I talked my parents into buying it. It was the Monogram, like selected purchasing agreement version of it, and it was molded in red. And I had it forever, and then I got rid of it because it was molded in red, and I never built it. And I had it since I was like 10 years old or some crap like that. This one's molded in white. I don't know.
You'll buy it.
I have no interest in the S10. I have no interest in the S10. Not necessarily because it's a low rider, because I still have an original S10 that has the actual correct suspension in it for being a 2-wheel drive. So I don't need that. And like I said, the Fiero I probably will get, because that's one of the kits I built when I was a kid, like second or third glue kit I ever built. I had bought an original one to go into that pile of, oh, I'll get to that someday. I could rebuild my childhood kits with my adult skills, but I could really build it without having to paint something over red. I like that option a lot better, plus having pinstriping and stuff like that.
Wasn't there a green version of that S10? It was like a surfer truck
Wave
or something.
Rider, yeah.
Wave Rider.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it have a trailer with a ski-doo or something on it?
I don't think it came with in that version. I think it may have sold one later on that did, because the S10 had a whole bunch of releases from 1991 and 92 when the kit was new until 1999, and then that's when like all the Revell stuff disappeared into another country, and they lost the 2-wheel drive chassis to it, and that was, the Cyclone got reissued a couple times because they always had the all-wheel drive stuff, and then we never got the S10 back until 3-4 years ago when they did that weird street machine version of it, because like, hey, it's an all-wheel drive S10, yay. I mean, technically it's a thing that existed in real life. They made an all-wheel drive S10 as the testing platform for the Cyclone, but it was not an actual street car. This thing has the same, like the lowrider had its own suspension, which is why they can really release this, but it's still Robert Gluckman, the guy that does all their test shot builds, he commented on a comment that I had made on Facebook and showed the build that he had done for the box art, and it's still a really wonky chassis, because it's still missing some of the pieces that you would need to do the 2-wheel drive thing. It's like they've taken the differential case off the transmission, but it's still like some of the all-wheel drive parts are there, and I just at this point just retool the missing pieces. It's been since 1999, where we're getting close to 30 years here. You can't find it. You're never going to see it again. Maybe it's in a dark corner of the warehouse, but just give up and do something about it already.
No talk about the 76 Chevy Sport truck?
Well, only because it's been out before. It's
a nice box art.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, it was fun when it came out because it's been the first time that it had been done in that sort of fashion. But I tried to talk myself into caring, but I didn't.
Oh, so this isn't the stack you bought. That's the stack at the hobby shop.
Yeah, why? I don't know why I'm still getting. Try to go through the screens here to make that go away. There we go. Because I had stopped sharing, but it was still showing on the screen. There we go. Let me catch back up with the chat here, see if there's anything. Obviously, Onyx Fiero's here, and he's very happy to see the Fiero come back.
Yep.
I'm shocked, I tell you. Yeah, Frank's in the chat. Good evening, Frank. You traitor.
Hey, Frank.
He was just on Jason's and Matt and all their podcast this past week. Plus, he does that Sunday show. I know Frank doesn't want to sit around and be negative, but I just like to just have just poke fun at Frank every now and then, because he had posted a Facebook short, like a YouTube reel, TikTok kind of thing, of the most recent Dodge Charger that he had just built. Just finished a 16. I think that's a 68. I think that's a 68, the green one. And because I think the blue one's a 69, the one that you couldn't get a mod top on. And he had called it a resto mod in the post that he made, just in font on the video. And it took all of half a day for some people to pile in there and point out that it technically wasn't a resto mod, because he did not actually put a modern suspension or a modern engine in it. And he couldn't call it a resto mod because it wasn't a resto mod. And it was like, are we really picking this fight? Are we really going to be 8 years old about the semantics of the words here?
You can't look at a beautiful model and say, wow, Frank, you did a good job on this model car. Nope.
Right. It has bigger wheels on it. Is it a resto mod because of the bigger wheels? No. Technically, it's a California wheels at that point, right? Because that's where Velschnick was throwing bigger wheels into a stock kit and calling it a custom. But I just, I've talked to you about this too. You get some interesting email. I've been on YouTube now for 10 years as of today, I think. I think today is my anniversary. And the number of emails I've received via videos I've made on YouTube is precisely zero. I've gotten a lot of comments. I've gotten a lot of, people even off of YouTube, not so much on Facebook, but on the forums, have given me rations of crap for various things I've said and done on YouTube. And some of them I deserved, on the parts of just people being just ridiculous. But the you two, and especially Frank, like, you get the amazing amounts of hate mail over some of the goofiest stuff, and it literally chased Frank off of YouTube for 6 weeks, and it was just like, I don't understand, like, within the concept of, like, the hobby is like one thing that we're all in and we should be having fun with it, but, like, honestly, like, if you don't think it's a resto mod, great, awesome, move on. Because unfortunately, I won't. If you want to go see who it was, you can go to Frank's page and look at his things. You can see who it is. But unfortunately, one of the bigger names in resin 3D printing piled into that conversation and had to throw his 2 cents into it. And I don't think, especially when you're posting underneath your business's name, that's a good look. Like, well, he didn't put a modern Hemi into it, so it's not really a resto mod. Like, yeah, I get you sell modern Hemis and stuff like that, but, like, dude, remember what profile you're on. People probably don't know you by your real name, but they know your business name pretty well.
I just don't really engage in conversations like that. It's just like every once in a while, and I guess I've been fairly lucky. I don't get a lot of comments like that on my social media platforms, or I just don't even pay attention to them or notice them or acknowledge them. But they don't. It feels like I don't get very many of them. And when I do, I guess I just tend to ignore them and move on with life. Because, I just don't encourage banter back and forth about stuff like that.
Don't feed the trolls, right?
Yeah, there's no need.
Oh yeah, I certainly, don't want to try to egg anybody on, but it was just
I'm glad he's back.
We've been here for 5 minutes, and now I'm giving you a hard time. Let's see.
I'm happy
he's a little bit. Yeah, I'm glad Frank's back on YouTube. I felt bad that he felt like he got chased off YouTube and was upset about that. So I'm glad to see him back. I enjoyed his content.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, and Frank's just a good guy in general. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Grabbing some photos here that Sean had posted because we haven't talked about these yet. So discuss amongst yourselves here.
So I have actually been I started working on models again, like this week. So I got my travel all out. So I've been working on that, and I actually posted some pictures today. But we got the body primed. I had to do a little bit of body work on it to rework some. It had some Z shifts kind of at the bottom, and I did some putty on that, squared it, and was able to flatten that out. So,
man, is that nice.
Then I'm in the process of building a roof rack. Because
where did you get the canoe?
So I actually have 2 of them now. So I posted on my social media, on my Sven's World Wheel Facebook page, that I was looking for the canoe from MPC in the 69 Pontiac Bonneville kit had an Indian Voyager canoe. And it's the only time that kit has ever been issued. And they're pretty rare. I'd never seen one. I'd only seen pictures of them. And I posted and I said, hey, I'm looking for these. If anybody's got one, I'd like to buy one. And I had 2 people respond to me. One person had a mint one, unbuilt, but it just the canoe. The other person had kind of a rough one that was built, and it had all the pieces to it. It had the oars, the seats, and everything. But it was a little rough. So I ended up just getting both of them.
Attaboy.
So it's like, well, all right, I'll. And I wasn't. So I looked online for pictures of the canoe because I was like, well, how's that supposed to? I cannot. If anybody knows anything about canoes, I'd love to, PM me through my Spence Roller, but I don't even know what material the Indian Voyager canoe is made out of. The pictures, the illustrations on the box art make it look like it's out of fiberglass or canvas or something. I'm not sure. And I cannot find any pictures online of what an actual one looked like. But there's plenty of like aluminum canoes. So actually, I took the one that was rough and modified them. So I don't know if you see the ends, you can see
Okay.
I've cut the end and smoothed it off and put a new kind of piece on there with styrene. So I'm modifying one of them to just look like a more of a modern aluminum canoe. So it's going to end up kind of, if you can see it, it's going to end up sort of like looking like this.
That's so cool.
So this is going to be kind of an ultimate, overlanding, hunting, fishing rig. And
with guns, you gonna put some guns in it?
Yeah, I've got a gun rack and a fishing pole and some other stuff and some camping gear. So it's gonna be all for the outdoorsy woodsman type guy.
You're showing the wrong picture there, bud.
Yeah, I just noticed that. That's weird.
I'm using the chassis parts. Well, I actually painted the chassis today. Yeah, so I using a lot of the off-road suspension bits from the new Mobius F250 Custom. So I've found that I could the stock one is the springs are really flat. So and I wanted to put a lift kit on it. So I cut the springs off the 3D print. It's the same axles, but it's just kind of modified it to use those big 4-wheel drive custom springs. And then I've scratch built a new set of front and rear steel bumpers with a winch and a spare tire carrier, and it'll have some other stuff on it.
Sweet. What color?
I think it's going to be white with sort of like that 70s olive green metallic. And I'm going to do like wood grain sides on it. It won't be, so there was a factory version that had wood grain sides. Mine's going to be more of a custom look to it.
Okay.
It's not going to look exactly like factory, but it'll have kind of my own style. And then I think I'm going to do sort of a plaid green and tan interior.
Sweet. I haven't touched mine. I know we're going to build it together and show them at a show, but yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, you're supposed to have that done for Akron.
He's got what? He's got 3 months. He's got plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
So in addition to that, I started working on this little guy. So this is Jimmy Flintstone Chevy G10 van.
Well, that's fun.
I kind of picked one of these up at the NNL a couple of years ago. I think a lot of times he will sell, like, I don't know if it's leftover parts or incomplete parts, but Jimmy Flintstone will set up a booth there. I think I paid like maybe $5 or $10. I was like, and I had it for a while and it's kind of sitting around and wasn't sure what to do with it. And then I saw a picture online of a one that was done kind of as a pro touring custom, and I was like, oh, that would be sweet. That's what I want to do with it. So actually, I scratch built a chassis for it, because all I got was a body. I didn't get anything. And I think he makes a complete kit with a chassis and bumpers and everything, but I just got a body. And since I was doing a custom one anyways, I thought, well, so I scratched up a little styrene tub. It's just going to be a curbside, so I wasn't really worried about an accurate chassis or anything, just enough to kind of hold the wheels, get the stance I wanted, put some seats in it and a dashboard. But
That's
so
fun.
I got that done. So yeah. So I have
You
been
saw
working.
Jeff's van with the custom artwork he did on that. Jeff Boomhoff.
Yeah, did he build one of those? The Chevy?
It wasn't. It's just a van, but
Okay.
he put a custom. Yeah. Sorry, got off track there.
That's okay. No, I know. I follow his Facebook page. I know he's recently, or not too long ago, posted some work he did on. I think it was a Dodge van, maybe. He did a really neat looking 70s paint job he's been working on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I will say that if you happen to need another canoe, Andre released this Dodge pickup truck.
No, I saw that this week and I was like, oh dang it. It's like, well,
comes with I was jokingly telling, because this came out literally the day after Frank's online kerfuffle, that it comes with a douche canoe for all your fans, and then it also comes with like a gun rack with 2 guns and a fishing rod. So,
and
plus there's a camper topper in it. There's not a lot of truck toppers, just in general anyway. I mean, I think it should fit anything with an 8-foot bed, I would assume.
And I had Scratch build a pair of bumpers that look very similar to that. Like, so that has all the parts that I needed. So anyways, that's a neat looking truck. I actually thought that was pretty cool when I saw that.
I'll say you get your present connection up there to make you a canoe if you need one.
Andy did that little red express truck too recently.
Yeah, he did. He did the little red express truck, and I think the most recent thing that was on there I just looked at was a '66 Bel Air, which, I mean, it's not an Impala, right? So it's a different trim level. I think it's a 2-door post rather than being the hardtop that the kits are. I think. Let me look. I just had it up and I put it away because I was like, I'm not going to need that for anything. Let's see, where'd it go? Here it is.
Yes, Kevin, it's at Copley High School again.
Now, can I actually share that without breaking the entire computer? Let's see. Let's try. There you go. So yeah, I can't make that picture any bigger. It's a 2-door post hardtop rather than being the colorless one that the kits have had with the Impalas. But it's also not an Impala; it's a Bel Air, so it's a different trim level. But I assume this means we'll get a 4-door and a police car and all the rest of that stuff, as Andre tends to do with all of his designs. So that's cool. I like that.
I'm still waiting for him to go back to modern cars.
Let's say
give me a BMW, give me a Mercedes.
And then there's the Little Red Express that we're just talking about.
Yeah, that's cool.
I saw he recently did all those like 54 Buicks. That has to be one of.
I mean, all these 54 Buicks right here.
If a car had a face, that car just, is like an angry old man. Just like.
But this really does sort of do something that everybody always says with model kits, right? Well, if you make a model kit of that, we just modify it into everything else. Because it's pretty much every trim level. It's a Skylark and a Century convertible and a Century hardtop and an estate wagon. And what is this? This is a special 4-door and a special 2-door. So it's like every trim level the 54 came in. If you like 54 Buicks, man, have I got a deal for you.
Yeah.
But that's sort of like the Rambler, right? It came out as a Scrambler and then a 4-door and then a wagon.
Well, now, see, what I thought would be cool to do is get the wagon and do a Scrambler wagon.
Oh, there you go.
Since you could mix and match the parts there.
Yeah, you could.
Yes, you could.
Now you're kit bashing resin 3D prints.
You're never happy with just box stock, are you, buddy?
Nope.
I thought this one, the 76 Camper Special, was amusing just because of how much crap AMT always gets every time that 350 Camper Special gets released, right? Well, is it a Camper Special? Why'd they pick that thing? It's like, well, even the 3D print guy thinks the Camper Special is the right choice. So Frank says Scramble Wagon would be awesome. So Frank gives you two thumbs up on your project idea there.
Paint it red, white, and blue. Put the hood scoop on it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be pretty sweet.
James, I told Wenben to email you some pictures. Did you get them?
He messaged me and it was saying it just says I'm waiting for the messages. I've gotten one.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what the. Oh, okay. This is a.
I don't have the technology to
this
share.
Is a GIF file, so I'm not sure this is going to show or not. But let's see if I can get it. If it'll pop up in Windows Media Viewer, I should be able to share it. That it did. So there we go. So yeah, there's your 296 GT3.
Neat.
It's coming in about a month and a half. Save your pennies, boys.
As I say, save your pennies, kiddos. Porsche race car, and then a Lexus fat body car, then another Ferrari race car, and then another Ferrari street car. So,
yep, I'll be busy for the rest of the year.
What series is that car racing? Is that Le Mans or?
It'll race in everything. I mean, technically speaking, everything that. Let's see if this will do this. Nope, did not. I gotta love technology. But yeah, it races World Endurance Challenge, which is Le Mans, and then because Le Mans is now GT. What do they call it? LM GT3. Le Mans GT3 is technically a different balance of power than the rest of the GT3 series, but it also races every GT3 series. So it races 24 hours at Nürburgring, 24 hours at Daytona. They race it at Macau. They race it in Europe. They race it in Asia. They race it in Japan. I'm pretty sure it's in Super GT in the GT300 series. So I'm not sure what all liveries that Wenben's going to be doing with it, because he's shown, I don't know, 5 or 7 different options to us in private. So which ones will actually get done, or all of them will get done, but it's going to come with a box of choices for sure.
Yes. I can't say anymore. Yes.
I could say stuff because he's posted stuff on there. I know there's a gold one. It's the Macau car. It tickles my Macau fancy, but it didn't do particularly well in the race. But it's kind of a very cool, if you gold wrapped a Ferrari would take the car from you and never let you buy a Ferrari again. So it's an interesting option, because it's not like foil gold. It's more of a brushed metal gold you could actually do with paint rather than have to worry about chrome wrapping kind of thing. But it's still an interesting car. And then Alpha Model's just going to do one of these too, because God forbid the two of them to stop doing the same goddamn project all the time. Their doors they're going to make theirs with opening doors, which just sounds like a really complicated, unnecessary nonsense. But when I was talking to James, I said I probably buy one of each because I'm going to get 7 different livery options, so I have plenty of decals for another one.
You certainly aren't going to buy 7. Huh?
Nope, certainly not. I like the Ferrari GT3, but I don't like it that much. It's not a.
Because the day after you buy 7 of them, then to me it will come out with one.
Yeah, exactly. To me, it'll be like, oh hey, now that my granddad died, we renewed our Ferrari license. Because speaking of that, like the F80, which is the next Ferrari hypercar, like that's the logical Tamiya kit, because they've done the LaFerrari and the FXX and the F50 and the F40 and so on and so forth.
Right.
and Alpha Model has been deathly silent about doing one. So I don't know if they know something that I don't know, or
I don't know
the rest of these pictures. It's
would have
literally. I wish I could show you the guys my screen because this just says waiting for this message. This may take a while. So there's one more picture coming. I don't know where, when, or how, but technology, ain't it great? Let's see. Let's try refreshing. Does that help?
So, Sean, you think you're going to have your travel all done for Akron, right?
Yep, that's the goal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually everything's ready to paint on it, so I'll
Okay.
probably and I'm freed up from my other activities that I was doing. So actually I'm very, very excited to get back to the model bench. So yeah, I plan on plowing through that. I hopefully I'll have the van finished by then too. That's kind of my goal.
I want to have one of the Bill Cunningham cars finished for
Is that the little Ferrari that I saw you post earlier this week? Yep. Or is that a different thing? Okay.
That one's I did that review on YouTube.
Right.
But I haven't shared pictures of the one that I'm working on.
Okay.
It'll be a surprise.
All right. I had thought about
because it might not get finished. So, I don't want to say that it'll be finished.
I contemplated starting a third project for Akron because they do have a theme of I don't remember what it's called exactly, but it's boxy 4x4s, Blazers, right. Broncos, Scouts, right. Jeepsters, and those things. I had an idea to do something that I thought would be kind of cool and unusual. But I don't know if I have enough time to knock a third one out between now and then. But
wouldn't your travel all be considered a boxy?
Well, I think the theme is just 2 doors.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind that.
So it won't quite fit. I have done a couple Broncos in the past. I have something I can bring, but I'd like to bring something new for the theme.
Yeah.
I found it. Let's see.
What'd you find?
I found the theme poster because he's sitting here talking about it. I'm like, what? I didn't hear about that. So this will be new information for everybody right here. So this is the build theme here for the upcoming Plastic Undercover Show. This is in Akron, coming Saturday, October 11th.
Akron, Ohio. For the people who aren't in this area.
Yes. This is your two-door off-roaders. So Blazer, your Jeeps, your International Scouts, your old school Broncos. I have that Baja Bronco. I think that's the only one. Well, I have the Blazer, obviously, but I think that's the only one I have out of that. Yeah. As a round 2's reissuing the Commando, so that's coming out.
Yeah,
I don't know who to be out before the show, but
I've actually got an original Commando.
Like that'd be the one I would want, right? The one that actually had the Jeep front end on it, rather than the goofy later weird Bronco-y front end.
Yeah, I've got one of those in my stash that I was toying about maybe doing something with.
Kevin Smith says fill in the back doors on the travel.
It would be impossible to get into the third row if there's only 2 doors.
Right. Yeah, I think I'm past the point of doing that, but I would start something new.
I'll say somebody in the comments had been saying, what about the FXX-K Evo? Okay, yes. They're also doing an FXX-K Evo. This would be the Ferrari.
Couple months.
The Ferrari street car that I was talking about. So, the FXK, I don't know, technically it's not a street car, it's a track car because the FXX-K isn't even a street car. But, it's just the the evolution version. I mean, if you, I don't want to go off on a tangent here because, like, I guess, yeah, it'll fill the next 20 minutes, but it'd be boring to these two. Basically, after a car races for so long, it has the option of doing an evolution model, which will expand out the lifespan of the car for another 2 to 3 seasons, depending what racing series you're talking about. And so, even though the FXXK is a track day car, that's a Ferrari organized event, and so the rules wouldn't apply to them. Like, oh, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to sell your car; it's too old to run anymore. They did make a later version to basically sell a few $3 million cars to their loyal fan base. So yeah.
I like
Since
the
that's
I
another,
like the
since that's another thing
angular.
apparently to me is never going to do, make the Evo version of the FXXK. We can get a resin version. Oops, that's the wrong one. That got quite the diffuser on the back here.
Yeah, I like all the angles of it. It's kind of neat looking.
It is yeah, it's a very aerodynamic surface, that's for sure.
Like something you'll see in Monaco only, people driving.
I'll say you see it at Maranello a lot, at the Ferrari test track, and
right.
That's a fascinating thing. If you ever want a quick 5-minute read, is read the history of the Ferrari internal racing program, where you buy these track cars and then you don't actually own them. Ferrari owns them, but they set up race events at all these different European racetracks that you know the names of, not Le Mans obviously because that's a lot of regular streets, but at all the major European circuits, and then they basically call you up and say, your car is going to be at this track, come on down and race it. And then you show up and you have a whole weekend of champagne caviar lifestyle and race your car around a little bit, and then you go home and they take the car back to Italy with them. You don't actually ever own this vehicle. But if you're the super rich gentleman racer, it's one of the things you can spend your money on.
I wish I had that kind of money.
Yeah, right. It's a great problem to have, right? Oh man, I got to jet off to Italy this weekend because we're going to be at Monza with the internal race program.
Oh, I got the orange one again. Doggone it.
Oh, you own your car within the concept of it's your car, but you don't own it. You can't take it. You can't license. It's not a street legal car, so you couldn't license it. But and Steve Courtney say Ferrari isn't doing any licensing. Shh, we don't say that. You don't use the L word when we're talking about resin here. Never.
Now.
Say, don't be getting all legal on us.
You want it or not?
Exactly.
Kevin, you missed the whole conversation. You'll have to watch the replay.
Right. Rewind and start at the beginning.
So, Sean, you posted this. Whoops. Dang it. It's the wrong button. And, I don't know how much you can, you posted it so you could talk about it, but I don't know how much you can go into about it. So what about these upcoming Mercs?
Yeah, that's them. Yeah, so there's 2 of them. The tooling's done and box art's done, instructions done. It's getting scheduled for production. I don't know when they will actually hit stores, but I would suspect they're not that far off. Like some of the other
by Christmas then.
Potentially. I don't know. I don't have insight into that, but I know they're it's down to just, hey, let's schedule it, shoot it, put it in a box and ship it. All the development work is complete on those. So the
country goes sideways between now and then.
Well, yeah, you never know, but yeah, so what I posted was, I had I think an earlier version of the developmental CAD that I was using to help develop the instruction sheets from. And so it's kind of, you're seeing the Pro Touring version and the stock version were in the same CAD file, so you can kind of spin around and look at them. And so it's all brand new 64 Comet, kind of loosely based on the 65 Comet. So there's some commonality. I think the engines, the same in both kits. I'm not sure if the chassis is the same or not on the stock one. Might be, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that. But it is getting a brand new, all new Pro Touring chassis. So it has like a tubular A-arm front suspension, a multi-link rear suspension with kind of like a Ford 9-inch rear. Yeah, big modern wheels and tires. I don't know what the actual scale is. They're sort of like a 20 in and probably an 18 or 19 in the front.
That's really cool looking. I'm glad they're coming out with something other than a factory stock.
Yeah,
or a drag car.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty cool. I mean, when I posted it, I was surprised. A lot of people got excited about the Pro Touring version, especially. The Pro Touring one also has a different interior.
Okay.
And you'll see there, that's the Pro Touring version of the. It has different inner engine panels, so you can see the shock towers have been removed.
Okay.
It's got the
Because it
two
had coilovers or something then, right?
Yeah. And then that motor it has two different, there's a sort of a Weber carb setup, and then there's the dual 4 barrels. It was sort of the Thunderbolt style air cleaner.
Okay.
It does have a different interior. I think it's got a custom sort of panel over where the back seat sits, and it has custom buckets. You can kind of see there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Whereas the stock one has, just a complete stock interior. I think both versions get that hood. Somebody was asking if it was going to have a flat hood. It is not. It's only going to come with that the hood scoop. So the stock version is the K code Comet. And it's just so it doesn't have to. So it's different from the AMT one. The AMT was a Comet Caliente,
Right.
so it had that side trim and didn't. And actually, the AMT one has no chassis. It's just sort of a promo. Where this was an all brand new kit. It's all completely detailed. But apparently, and I'm not an expert on. I know there's some sort of banter back and forth about, what was accurate and what isn't. I'm not a expert on these cars. I do know that it's based on a. There was photographs that were shared with me of somebody who had built or had restored what was labeled as a K code Comet. And so this kit is kind of based on that. I don't know how accurate that was, but it was presumed to be an accurate version of a version of the Comet that was offered back in the day.
It's a 289. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Okay. So it's 289 small block.
Because that's a small car in real life anyways. So you wouldn't expect a big block to even fit in that.
Yeah. But that apparently that hood was a factory option for that car.
Yeah, it's a very distinct hood. I like it.
So yeah, so that should be pretty neat. I believe parts should be interchangeable with the 65 Comet. Probably have to wait till they actually get the parts in hand and actually do some test fitting and to verify that. But I think more than likely that the Pro Touring chassis will fit on the 65 body with either it's a drop-in fit or it might need some very minor modifications.
Wheelbase wise, that would fit under 60s Mustangs too, right?
I would think.
Yeah, so there's your pro touring 60s Mustangs.
Even if you didn't pull the whole chassis, you could certainly pull the suspension components themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Those will walk off to to a whole slew of things in the future. That's really the
Right.
first modern pro mod or style chassis that's ever been done, really.
Yeah, it's
Right.
pretty cool.
Without 3D printing.
It's gonna do well.
And can we just appreciate the box art here for a second? We need to get Sean laid off on a more regular basis because this is another one of these, just excellent comet shooting through the background there. Ha 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 ha! I see what you did there. But yeah, that's a cool one. I like that. Start referring to that as Sean's Comet the way I refer to the F-250 as being Sean's truck.
Thanks. Yeah, I had fun with that. I wanted to do. I think I've shared with you before. I've always there's a Revell 68 or 69 Barracuda box art that I was just fascinated with it when I was a kid, and it was a kind of a night scene of a car kind of racing through. So I keep trying to sort of recapture that feel, and I've done a couple different things where I've done a similar treatment, but I've been trying to do a little bit more atmospheric box art, showing things at night or showing things with the headlights on, kind of some weather effects. And
so much better than in the 90s when it was a retouched photograph of somebody's built model.
Photo retouched. I don't think one of the AMT gets around here, but it was like I was photo retouched actual model or something like that.
Yeah, awful model. Not even a good. Sorry, I won't even go there. Sorry.
And that was when we got canceled. What is this? It's gonna bug me now if I don't see what this actually said. Retouch photo of actual model. That's what it was.
I was going to mention there's another show that's coming up in the Ohio area. I think even before Akron, isn't it? Isn't there? The Atomic City guys. Don't they're sponsoring something over in Kedrington, like in September or something?
I don't know about that. So let me know.
I think I vaguely heard something about that. Yeah. Is that this year or is that next year? Not sure if they're.
I don't know. I'd have to look up.
Say as I ferociously pound through the computer here.
Oh, Steve Courtney says Zanesville and Lima are coming up too.
Good old Lima.
Lima?
It's Lima, but I heard something the other day who said something like, "Oh yeah, gotta go over to Lima." I'm like, that's the pronunciation of it in Peru, but not in Ohio.
Might have been Zanesville I was thinking of.
So I think they said they were going to do something, but it's Gem City NNL. What is
Gem City? Yeah, that I think that it's kind of maybe sponsored by this Atomic City guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on their Facebook page and they're talking about how many tables are left. But now I got to see if I can track that down. Let's see here.
So I might do that as well.
Yeah, has the classes for it.
How far is that for you, Zanesville?
Just a couple hours.
Okay.
About 2-hour drive. That's doable.
Gem City NNL, September 13th. But I still don't have a place or a time. Let's see. Scroll backwards.
I do like the NNL style format.
I do too.
Yeah, that's good. Always just having a hang, if you will. It's weird, guys. You're gonna host a model show, but you don't have a flyer for it. That's not exactly the best promotions I've ever seen. Because if you look up Gem City NNL, you find posts for it here and there, but there's no just a flyer for it.
Sean,
everybody knows, but I'm looking at more willing to advertise for them if anybody actually knows where it's at in terms of like the place it's going to be held.
What are you going to do for windows for your travel? You're just going to cut acetate?
I think so. I mean, they're pretty much all flat. Even the front windshield's pretty flat. I mean, it's curved, but it's not like a compound curve.
Okay.
So I think I can just get by with. I don't know.
Okay.
It didn't look scary enough to.
But there's a place to glue them onto, right? On that body.
Yeah, it's got pretty thick pillars, and there's a ledge on the inside.
Okay, yeah, the ledge is what I meant, because like on some of Andre's older ones, there was no ledge, so it was more like a model kit where the window would go in from the inside, which is a nightmare for vacuum formed windows.
Yeah,
because then you get a big ledge of body and before the window.
Right. Yeah, I think I can mount it from the inside and make it look pretty decent.
Okay.
Not too worried about that one. But I don't know. We'll see. I haven't actually tried it yet. may end up giving me more fits than I think, but that didn't look scary. I actually bought I got a kit this week too. I ended up buying one of these things. Somebody had posted on Facebook the Amazon a couple weeks ago had these for $15.
Wow.
So I looked at, sure enough, you were able, I don't know who the seller was, but they were blowing a bunch of them out. And but what I was going to mention was, I don't know if you see this box. So the way this got shipped to me was, and I was luckily it wasn't broken, but they literally put this in a paper bag and shipped it. And
the only thing worse, there's only one thing worse than that. Hold on. Where is it?
It's like, I guess you get what you're paid for, but
there it is. The Amazon sticker right on the box.
Right, yeah. I think that would have been better. Somebody would probably actually have been a little bit more like, oh, I this probably looks fragile. Maybe I should be careful with it. As opposed to, who knows what's in a paper bag? It could have been anything. Let's just pile a refrigerator on top of it. We don't care.
Let these two pain be the lesson for everyone. If you order a model from Amazon, mark that it's a gift, so they put it in a box.
Okay. Note to self.
It's like they will. They say they'll throw it in a bag, or they'll do what they did the tester. They'll just throw a label on the outside. That's what they do with everything else, right? You order like a mini fridge from them, they just throw a label on the outside shipping box. So like everything's like that. And they've cut down on boxes. Like, I don't know, was it like just a bag, or is it one of those cardboard bags? Because they have I've noticed my wife's stuff has come in these things that look like a shoebox size, except it's just a cardboard bag rather than being. It's not like a mailer envelope.
It was like a paper cardboard bag. It looked like a grocery bag. Just like craft paper. I mean, I can understand. There are certain types of products that are packaged in a way that you could ship them safely, but model kits are not.
Well, they're just toys, so who cares?
So I managed to find, because somebody in the comments had mentioned, and I'm sorry I forgot to look at your name there. Let's see, who was it? Was it Steve? Can't find it. Anyway, they'd mentioned this, the old Carb show. So it's the old Cincinnati Auto Modelers, or Automotive, whatever that. I don't mean to be dismissive, like I don't know your name, but it stands for something, and I just can't think of what it stands for right now. So it's that show remodels an N&L. So here's the flyer. It's Saturday, September 13th, 2025 at whatever the hell the SBC Conover Hall is in Franklin, Ohio. So that's just north of Cincinnati, one county. Used to work work beside Franklin forever and ever and ever. So yeah, there's a show for the central, southern North Ohio, northern Kentucky, eastern Indiana, folks. It's not too bad of a drive from like Indy or
yeah. That's close enough to me. I probably will end up checking that out.
Yep. At least go to swap meet or something. All right.
Yep.
But
go
read the $5 kits.
I say from looking at it and tracking down, because it was I easily found a flyer by going through the Cincinnati guys Facebook page. They're doing an actual NNL where it's gonna be 3 awards, like a People's Choice, Club Choice, and a theme award. So they're going old school, as opposed to the top 10, top 20. Won Best of Show, Modeler's Choice, Best Junior, and the Johan USA Oldies Master Award. So there you go. It's $2 to get in, $5 for the display. Includes a swap meet.
Cheap.
Yep.
Love it.
Photographer on site for Fine Scale and Auto Modeler. Your chance to be world famous. And Kevin was asking about the Zanesville shows. It's still at the fairgrounds. It hasn't been at the fairgrounds for years. It's bounced all over the place. This year it's at the mall in Zanesville, up north of town, on the northwest side of town. It was at the theater in downtown Zanesville for the last several years, but apparently the theater is being remodeled this year. So they got, after they, had gotten the date and paid for it, they got kicked out. So it's a good time. Had that happen before in a club I was in. Hey, we've confirmed your date. Oh, we're remodeling. So yeah, your date is no longer valid. Suckers.
When's the Zanesville show?
Zanesville show is the last Saturday of September, whatever the hell that ends up being. Let me see here. That would be the 27th.
Yeah, check that out.
And then the 28th is Three Rivers here in Pittsburgh. That's been a dueling weekend now for, as long as I can remember. Go to Zanesville on Saturday, go to Pittsburgh on Sunday.
I always like the Pittsburgh show.
Yeah, I haven't been to that. So what's the date on that one again?
So the 27th is Zanesville, and then the 28th, the next day, on the Sunday, is Three Rivers.
Let's put that on the calendar.
Let's see if Y City's got their flyer up here. They had one. They've at least got an easy club name to remember. They're because the whole Y Bridge in Zanesville thing, the Y City. I should have saved this. I think we talked about this while you were gone. I think I've had this flyer once already. Yeah, where'd it go? There it is. And oopsie here. So Colony Square Mall, which if you look at it, Zanesville sits, like I said, up to the northwest of town, which is a hootenanny. It's great because actually both of you technically, unless you come down 77, Sean, you won't have to go through the Zanesville construction. James might, but going to the one downtown, you had to go through the construction. They're rebuilding I-70 through the middle of downtown Zanesville right now. So it's just a hootenanny for the last 3 years. I'm going to have 2 years to go. But yeah, so Saturday's 27th at the Colony Square Mall. You got song-related models being your theme there. They've got all the standard nonsense that you would get at a model contest. It's $5 for your registration fee. Yeah, we got nine to 4, whatever type of thing. It's usually a pretty good, decent little show. Okay. I haven't gone the last couple of years, just because it's a work thing, right? Get off of work and then I go drive out to Zanesville. I went through Zanesville twice tonight. Let's go drive through it a third time. And then I've got six days till I leave for Virginia, where I will go down and do my annual national level critiquing of other people's model work. So it's a good time. So,
Send pictures.
I said a couple different people asked me, "So you judging at Nationals this year again?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, actually, just got the email yesterday asking me if I was going to be there and if I'd help judge." So yes, I actually will be judging at Nationals.
Where's that at again?
Which is no different than judging at any other model contest, except that everybody acts pretentious about it.
Virginia.
Yeah, it's down in Hampton, Virginia, which is on the land side of the Hampton Roads that divides like the land side of Virginia from Virginia Beach side. So we have an Airbnb. We're going down on Sunday, going to the beach for a few days, and then make my way over to the well, I don't know. It runs Wednesday through Saturday night. I have to be there Friday night for judging. How many other days I'm going and stuff like that all depends on who I end up seeing. I believe that Lewis Hicks and Chris Collins and a couple of the other guys from Pennsylvania are going to go down. We've been talking about I think they're going. So I don't know. If they're there, I'll hang out with them. If they're not, I'll hang out with my family. So, it's one of those things. We'll see. Last time I talked to them, they're going to be there on Thursday. So we'll be good to hang out with some of our friends. And Steve Courtney says, "How are you going to judge stuff when you don't build anything?" Steve, my eyes work. Not building models doesn't somehow. That's a long time ago. I've just spoken funny to Steve, but it's a long ago time, like Model Cars Magazine argument, right? Well, you don't build anything. How can you judge other people's work? Well, my eyes work. Like I can see whether you're building crap or not. That doesn't my ability to build doesn't affect my ability to see.
Don't put anything in the contest, Steve.
Roger Ebert never made a movie, probably.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't believe any food critic has ever been a chef or movie critics ever made movies. So. I mean, it's a good time. I mean, the only difference between judging at nationals and judging at your local model shows, judging at your local model show, somebody grabs you and goes, "Hey, come here, help judge." And like the nationals, you have to go to a meeting for an hour. Oh God. It's such a PowerPoint presentation. Don't pick shit up. Don't touch things. Don't. It'll be a good time just for the beach vacation. Regardless of the model show. The model show will be fun. Like I said, there'll be a few odds and ends here that'll be fun. And I think the nationals. Maybe it's a little more serious for the IPMS guys, right? Because like this is their coup de grace. For the car guys, like it's another model contest to go to. There's certainly, it's like anything, right? You go to the NNL East, you go to GSL when it was still up, you go to NNL West. There's going to be a couple, 3 things that are going to blow your absolute minds. There's going to be that, Randy Dare type model that somebody scratch built out of matchsticks and baling wire and somehow made into something, and you're like, holy moly! I sell everything I have, set the rest of it on fire kind of model. And then for everybody else, it's just the local show because the clubs that run the national contest, they don't have their regular local contest that year. They've got the nationals to run, so they're not running their regular club show too. So for everybody in Hampton Roads, this is just the Hampton Roads IPMS contest for the fall that would normally be there. And I think the club in Richmond didn't run. Well, club in Richmond ran a show this spring, but I think it's there's another club in Roanoke. Roanoke's not running their show this fall that they normally would because they're helping out and they're not running, trying to run a show 2 weeks after the nationals and stuff like that. So there's a bunch of the local clubs in that area that for the IPMS side of things that won't run their contests this year. So you get those models show up, and that's the model. And I know it sounds elitist, but it's like the models that come to a contest, right? Or you go to a local contest. There's going to be some really good stuff. There's going to be some like, yeah, that's cool. And then there's going to be like, I can't believe you brought this stuff out and showed it to people in public kind of thing. So just on a much larger scale, there'll be 3,000-4,000 models on the table, but that's every genre of model that there is. NNL East is still going to be your biggest, as far as unless Acme catches up to it someday. NNL East is going to be your biggest one spot automotive show.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that one's become, unless there's something on the West Coast but I don't think there's anything that's quite as big as NNL East.
I say NNL West was the big show, but then it's gone now. That was the last one was this year. They're trying to, the guys out there are trying to start another show coming up next year. It's sort of going to be the stand-in for NNL West, and we'll see how successful that is. I mean, I hope it's successful because that's a big loss out that way. I mean, the show's gonna be back down in like Southern California. It's gonna be, I think. Oh, there's another show that's held at the same place. It's in Ventura County, so it's more down towards LA, and NNL West was up in the Bay Area. It was in San Jose, so it was actually right on the same block. That convention center was right across the street from like where the new 49ers stadium was. So two winters ago, when the 49ers were in the playoffs, the show was the day before the playoff game. So that was a fun dance for a lot of folks trying to find hotel rooms and then get the hell out of town before the NFL took over the entire neighborhood and stuff like that. Steve in the comments says he just wants the belt for Bunker Mania. So yeah, there's a tiny little show here in Western Pennsylvania. It's held in the town, at least it was held in the town of New Florence, Pennsylvania, which is a blink and you miss it crossroads out in Indiana County, which is like 90 miles north of Pittsburgh. And there's a model store, like a brick and mortar, or at least there was all military. He would show up for like Three Rivers and stuff like that, but he really didn't sell anything because it's all military. But he started running a show out there, and their award for best ofs, like best automotive, best armor, best aircraft, is a wrestling belt. Which is truly one of the most unique things I've seen given away at a model contest. But I would be insufferable. I'd be walking around with that thing all the time. Start demanding entrance music be played when I come into buildings. But yeah, there's Bunker Mania, WrestleMania. So yeah, Bunker Mania. I think it's in October, or maybe it's early November. But it's an unaffiliated show. He just runs it himself out there. But it's a goofy little thing. Brolin goes to it. Brolin got stuck judging it one year for the automotive side because he was one of the only car guys that showed up. It's just a goofy little local show.
Sounds fun.
So, guys, we are ticking close to the 2-hour mark. This is usually when I lose these two to their bedtimes. So,
yeah.
Any final thought before we depart here?
No, I had a good time. Thanks for joining us, Sean, for our
little
visit.
You guys can find time in your schedule for us.
Yeah. Do you know, are we going to have a guest next week or next episode?
Honestly, I don't. As we discussed business off the air, no, I don't. I don't think I have anybody lined up that I know of.
Well, maybe we'll work on that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I will.
Just, stuck in the comment there, Kevin saying that wrestling belt would fall off of him, and Steve saying he'll do it, aka walk around with entrance music. So, Steve, I would pay admission to a show just to see that. I know how he feels about his lowriders and the attention that they don't get. So if he ever won something like that, he would be insufferable, and it would be a hootenanny to watch. So I'm all for it. I'm all for Steve getting a wrestling belt. So anyway, guys, we appreciate you joining us for this episode. As always, we will see you guys on the other side.
Good night, everyone.